Your art is always, always more than just a picture. Your art is a message from your creative voice. And this message can be a hug, a spark of encouragement, a giggle just for fun, our heartfelt tug to lift a spirit that is low. It can be anything that you need to express. Someone out there needs to hear your creative voice and needs to receive the message that only you can create. Hello, my creative friend. Welcome to the BDI Create Today podcast. This is a podcast where we'll discover the who, what, where, when, why, and how you can be creative or have more creativity. And together, we'll explore the extraordinary impact creativity can have in your life, in your heart, mind, body, and soul. And if we haven't met yet, I am Beth Buffington, a licensed artist, digital illustration instructor, and a creative coach living just outside of the windy city of Chicago, Illinois. But mostly, I am someone who is curious about how creativity can weave its way into our lives. Now, each week we're going to look at one or more of the sparkly facets that make up the ever-changing kaleidoscope that is creativity. Hello, my creative friend. Welcome to another episode of Create Today with Beth Buffington. This is a podcast that reminds you how to show up to use your creativity today, because it has the power to provide joy and healing and transformation to you in heart, mind, body, and soul. Now, today's episode is all about something small and simple and powerful. Today, we are going to talk about greeting cards. There are few things in this world that communicate as powerfully as the humble greeting card. Right at this very moment, I can recall so many fantastic cards that I have either been given or I have sent out to people. They were the perfect heartstring tug for messages that needed to be said to me or that I needed to say to someone else. So what cards come to mind for you as you rummage through your memory bank? I'm sure you have several that pop up in your mind's eye right now, right? You remember them because these simple paper sentiments were always on point and powerful. Now, I want you to think about the last time you got a greeting card, especially one that came to you in the mail. You probably were rifling through all the junk mail that you got for a day. Well, I don't need that. I don't need this. It's junk, junk, junk. These are things for new windows, credit card applications, coupon booklets, insurance offerings, restaurant coupons. And then suddenly in your hands, you're holding a beautiful envelope, a simple envelope, one that has a handwritten address. And you know immediately this is something personal. This is something special. So you tear open the envelope and you admire the artwork and you open the card and you read the card's sentiment and the message that was handwritten inside. Powerful. These are personal notes that share celebration or admiration or love or congratulations or even support in times of need. A greeting card is a tiny delivery of hope, celebration, remembrance, encouragement, and love. And my friend, the art created for a card is a messenger. This is art that speaks when we can't find the right words. This is art that cheers you on and cheers you up. This is art that lifts spirits. It provides support. And this art even gets tucked away and saved for years as something that was cherished forever. These tiny paper messengers are powerful and heroic, and they are tender and they are loving. And that's the focus of our podcast today. Let's find purpose for your creativity through your creative voice, through the power of a card. You know, I'm a huge supporter of just making art, doing something creative just for your well-being, by just doing art or doing your creative passion with no pressures of deadlines. But I also know another way to find purpose and well-being in your creativity is to share it with others, especially if this sharing is going to help convey a special message. And cards are the perfect way to communicate those celebrations and holidays, admiration, love, support, you name it. Cards can say it with humor, with romance, with the pulling of heartstrings, with subtle words of guidance. So let's talk about creating cards and our creativity. Let's talk about how we can use our creativity to make art that we can share with friends and family. And who knows, maybe you will like it so much that you will want to share it to an audience. And my friend, this will be an audience who needs to communicate what you have created in your greeting cards. And this can only be done because you had the voice to share it. So here's the thing about creating art for a greeting card. The most important thing is this: the actual artwork does not need to be gallery perfect. It just needs to feel like you. So whether you paint or you sketch or you doodle, you collage, you design digitally, you have the power to create art that connects and shares a message. Greeting cards are small, and so this makes them very approachable. It also helps to keep the art from being overwhelming as you create, because you can fill a 5 by 7 inch space with a simple line drawing, a burst of color, a flower, a face, a piece of sky, or you can add words, quotes, blessings, or poetry. It will be easy. It's only 5 by 7, right? And here's what I love most about cards. You don't need a reason to send one. The card itself can be the reason. When I was in college, our campus bookstore had the best card selections. I loved going to the bookstore after class on certain days each week just to read the cards. And I would always choose a few that I would take back to my dorm room and send to my mom and dad or to my friends. I know that especially during my freshman year in college, that I sent a card at least once a week, mostly just to say hey or to share something pithy or witty that the card was saying. There was usually no reason to send the card, but I know that the people who got the cards from me absolutely loved hearing from me each time they got a greeting card in the mail. These days, I am fortunate to get cards from my grandbuddies. And no matter how odd or rough my day might be, getting a card in the mail from one of these little people, Fiona, Will, Sammy, Autumn, or even little Fitz, makes my day absolutely brilliant. Think about it. Who needs to have their day made absolutely brilliant by getting a little something in the mail from you? Who could that be? And then let's you and I create today together. I invite you to consider creating art for a card that you would like to send to fill in the blank. It can be a message of any sort, any holiday, occasion, any art style, any medium. And my dear friend, there's no rush to create. In fact, this week, maybe just consider thinking about what you might want your card to say. Will it be for Christmas, a birthday, a friendship, a new baby, a wedding? Maybe it's an apology to a friend or a family member. Maybe it's a love note to someone special. Now, after you've pondered your card options, next, you'll want to think about your approach to how you will convey this message. Will it be humorous, whimsical, cute? Maybe it will be more romantic or soulful or poignant. Think about that. Look for ideas this week as you go through your daily routine and you go about your normal week. Look for ideas and write down your thoughts. I love to collect ideas for projects inside Pinterest. I'll make a special pin board for whatever that project would be. And you can bet I have several pin boards that are dedicated just to greeting cards. And I will add my thoughts to the board. Like every time I find something I like, I will make sure it gets into my Pinterest board. That makes it easy for me to review my ideas and compare and decide which ones are my favorite, and then which which ideas I might want to work on. But first, just think and collect. And then next, start thinking about how you might want to create your art. Now, a typical card design is usually 5 by 7 inches, and most cards are vertical. But the reason there are vertical cards is because most stores display the cards in racks. And for the stores, it's easy to have all the cards vertical. That way, you're able to see how they're going to read, and it's easier for you to peruse the card display. But your card gets to be whatever you want because you probably won't be seeing them in Target tomorrow. So if you want a horizontal card, draw a horizontal card. It's your choice. And your art can be rendered in any medium that you prefer. Watercolor, acrylic, colored pencils, maybe you make a collage, charcoals, pastels, you can even draw in pencil. This is entirely your choice. Now, I will be creating along with you this month, and I'll be making my art with Procreate using my iPad because that's how I love to draw. Give you my iPad and my Apple Pencil and a cozy blanket and a couple pillows, and I'll curl up on the couch and I will sketch while I watch television with Tom in the evenings. That's my happy place. And that is where a lot of my artwork gets made. So you decide how and when and what and with what you will be creating your art. If you have been wanting to learn Procreate, this is a really great time to start. You can hop on over to my website and rummage around. You'll discover there are lots of ways on my website where you can realize the joy and the power of Procreate. I've got tutorials that can help you get started, and you could do a deep dive if you want to by taking Learn the Art of Procreate. This is my online course that will teach you step by step how to get started and get to a feeling of professional work drawing your own art inside this much loved drawing app on your iPad. So if you have any questions about getting started with Procreate, just let me know. And I'm here to guide you with where you might want to go to get started. But anyway, this month, let's you and I create together. No matter how you decide you want to create your art, we'll create artwork for some fantastic cards. And here's something super exciting that will make creating your cards this month even easier and even more fun and more fantastic. At the end of May, I'm going to host 2 workshops where I'm going to show you how you can take your artwork that you've created and turn it into beautifully printed greeting cards. So cool. I'm going to walk you step by step through 2 different print-on-demand services so you can take the beautiful art that you create this month and you can make cards to send and share and gift to friends and family. You will be able to build your own inventory for craft fairs or online shops. And you will be able to create custom invitations for a party or a wedding, a special occasion, maybe a baby shower, your choice. You'll learn all you need to know about the process of getting your art printed, from scanning art to uploading your digital files onto the print-on-demand sites, onto their templates. You're going to learn how to choose paper and how to order your cards. So if you've wanted to do this, but it's always seemed a little scary or overwhelming, or maybe you tried it before and you either got confused and you stopped, or you weren't happy with the end result, this is going to be a really gentle way to get your art printed on some beautiful cards. So whether or not you decide the printing workshop is a great fit for you, you can still make some cards this month. I want you to start thinking about the card you're going to create. Who is it for? And what do you want to tell them? And then start thinking about your fantastic ideas about the art you'd like to create. We'll be talking on the podcast about cards throughout the month of May. And when the greeting card workshop registration opens, you're going to have your artwork ready to go. Workshop details will be coming soon, so stay tuned. So let's make this month a time of creative thought, creative expression, and creative progress. But my friend, know this. Your art is always, always more than just a picture. Your art is a message from your creative voice. And this message can be a hug, a spark of encouragement, a giggle just for fun, our heartfelt tug to lift a spirit that is low. It can be anything that you need to express. Someone out there needs to hear your creative voice and needs to receive the message that only you can create. So start percolating your ideas and make a list of possible cards that you could create, and then start creating your art. And I'll be doing the same thing. And let's keep track of each other, okay? So take pictures of your progress, upload them on Instagram, and tag me to share your art. Let's celebrate the doing of your art as much as the final artwork or the final card product. And then join me at the end of May for my greeting card workshop. You've got plenty of time to relax and enjoy the process of just doing your art. But you're also going to be able to relish the joy of sharing your creative message to the people who need a note of encouragement, of love, of support, of congratulations, whatever that message is. Those people who need that message from you. Until next time, remember to create today, and then create tomorrow, and the next day, and the next, because your soul thrives when you get lost in your creative expression. And as always, no matter what your creative voice decides to share with this fun creative challenge, remember to stay creative, my friend. And now let's take a second to hear a word from our sponsor, and that would be me. When the world feels like a lot, like it does right now, community is a place you need to find. Let me tell you how BDI Create Today is here to provide that extra help and encourage you with your creativity through community. Sometimes creating feels a bit lonely when you are doing it all by yourself. But my friend, one of the best ways to stay inspired and to keep your creativity thriving is to be part of a creative community. It helps you stay accountable to get more done. And it's also going to bring new ideas to the table about creative inspiration and techniques and tips that you never thought to try. And this is why I created the Create Today membership. BDI Create Today, it is a safe place where creatives can come to meet and mingle with like-minded creatives, to find cheerleaders who are going to support and respect you and your creativity. Inside the Create Today membership, you get inspiration and tips and unique creative ideas to keep your creativity challenged, ignited, and alive, and still happening on a daily basis. So if you're looking for a way to stay creatively energized and break free from the stress spiral of today's world, Create Today is a safe space to land and to grow your creativity. To learn more about the treasures that BDI Create Today has ready to share with you right now, visit www.bdi-create.today and you can become part of this wonderful community that supports the many benefits that creativity provides us today and every day. Because, my friend, it is when we gather together in community that we find ways to cope, we find answers to problems, and we find safety in our numbers. And we discover that we are in this together. But most importantly, you're going to realize the power creativity has to bring goodness in your life, in heart, mind, body, and soul. I am so grateful that you are here. And if you know someone who could benefit from today's message, please share this podcast and take a peek at past episodes to find other treasures about you and your creativity that can add more strength and power to your well-being. Remember, it is important for your overall well-being for you to stay creative, my friend.